All right, welcome back. Ready Bet Action NFL Week 8. We are almost halfway through this NFL season, which is
Cruising.
absolutely insane to me. We got a long way to go, but man, we are excited to bring some NFL picks this week. We have to talk about these Denver Broncos and that win to open the show. That was absolutely insane. Does it give me confidence in the Broncos? I still don't know if the Broncos are like a really good team or not. I kind of don't think they
Right.
are, but
Yeah.
like maybe they are. Like you win games like maybe you win games like that, and it means you are kind of a thing. One of my favorite comments, which again I'm a Patrick Mahomes hater, but I totally agreed with, which is if Patrick Mahomes did what Bo Nix did, which was to come back by 20 something points with 6 minutes left, they would have stopped the world and had a federal holiday in his honor. And it would have been this is a kid show. It would have been a a whole week of Patrick Mahomes dick riding is all I'll leave it at that for that. And so look, Bo Nix had a terrible game and he hasn't looked amazing at times this year. But if any other quarterback that's like kind of had more experience and whatever did what he did, it would be like greatest player of all time comes back from 20 something down. So what a crazy game to watch. Any thoughts? What do you think about the Broncos this year?
I have a play on that game later. I think you're right. I don't think we know really what. I mean, this team has shown us they can figure out ways to win any game. They can figure out ways to lose any game. Like
Yep.
they're going to make it exciting. It's going to be interesting. Right now, Broncos are much watched TV. Like it's been fun. It's been entertaining. Kind of every game kind of feels like a little mini season in and of itself. There's like so many different storylines. So it's been super fun watching them. As an Oregon fan, watching Troy Franklin and Bo Nix has been super great. I kind of love Marvin Mims this week for DFS, kind of as a sneaky, kind
Yeah.
of cheap play if you want to like smash in some of these really expensive running backs like Jonathan Taylor or like Bijan Robinson, who I'm sure we'll talk about later, or Christian McCaffrey. So Marvin Mims is kind of fun. So yeah, excited for this slate though. I'm a little nervous. The model I've been kind of using to make picks for the NFL, which has been doing okay, likes like almost all the underdogs this week, and that just makes me feel so uncomfortable as someone who likes favorites and overs. This week
So
is a lot of unders and underdogs, which I don't like.
this is by far the hardest week that I looked at for my picks that I did. Like I have been crushing. My record on the NFL this week is absolute, or this year has been awesome. And that's where I've made a lot of my personal money. That's where my show record is absolutely crushing it. I have not been that great at college football, but I just feel like I've been, they say just like seeing the board like insanely clearly. And this is the first week I pulled it up and I was like, why is this fuzzy this week? Like this doesn't feel as good this week. I do have some things. Let's just jump right into it. We have Mike's picks here too. Mike is not with us today, but we do have his picks. So I'm just going to start with one that him and I overlap with just in different ways. Mike is teasing numbers to create a parlay. I'm taking teams on the money line. So
Let's
I have
do
been
it.
crushing these money line parlays in the NFL almost every week. So the only one I love this week, and the juice is not amazing, but I still feel really confident in it, is the Bills and the Patriots to both win. And look, the Bills are going to Carolina, and I do think Carolina, to our credit in the preseason, well, to you and Mike's credit, I should say, Carolina in the preseason, we were talking about being a much improved team, and it's like how are these rookies going to improve? And they started to look good at the end of last season. That's great. It's still the Bills coming off a bye week, so they're 7.5-point favorites. I'm just going to take the Bills to win. I like them coming off a bye, and that's most of my reasoning there. Second, we got the Patriots against the Browns. I'm sorry, man. I don't buy into this Browns team being any good. You don't beating the Dolphins doesn't mean anything to me. Patriots at home. this feels like a win for the Patriots to keep pace with the Bills for that division. So I think the Patriots actually win that pretty handily. I actually do also in my own card have the Patriots minus. I'll bet the Patriots minus 6.5 straight up on this one. I saw today, or I saw a stat. Look, when I talk about this, I promise it's not shitting on Dylan Gabriel. I think the Browns' mishandling of their quarterbacks is an absolute joke. And I think you cannot win by playing this way. Dylan Gabriel, 67% of his passes are under 10 yards. He is 66 and 98 pass attempts at 9 yards or less. They're essentially just using him as a running back by throwing screens and tiny passes. Let him throw down the field, man. And I'm not saying like if you're really trying to figure out if you have an NFL quarterback and you're a serious football team who cares about what quarterback you have for the future, then you have to go let him try and let him throw some balls down the field. But they're just calling short stuff and they don't want to expose him because he's a rookie. And I get it, but like I think the Browns are an absolute joke with how they're handling this quarterback situation. They're not letting Gabriel actually throw and see if he can do it or not. And dude, last week, of course, he looks good against the Dolphins. Other than that, like they're scoring like 9 points in a game. Like it's really bad. So give me the Patriots to just win. Bills and Patriots money line. And before Stave, I'll let you comment on that game, on those games if you have anything. But Mike has this. If you want to combine the Patriots at minus 2.5 and the Bills at minus 12.5, so you're going to tease those numbers, you can get that at minus 125. So if you like to, maybe get a little less juicy than I have it, you can take some numbers there too.
Yeah, I've got the Browns in a couple of my picks here. I'm with you. I'm taking Patriots minus 6.5, just straight up.
Yeah.
Even in their win last week, the Browns barely eclipsed 200 yards of total offense, averaged less than 4 yards of play. You need more than just a good defense to win in the NFL. I think the Patriots at home take care of business. Ramondre Stevenson's been running the ball a little bit better. I think TreVeyon Henderson will continue to get work, but really, it's Drake May is one of the big reasons here. He's been really, really good. He's been running well. He's been throwing the football well, and he has not been like on target lock with any one receiver. He's happy to throw the ball around. You've seen different tight ends get involved in the work. You see, whether it's Diggs or Boudet or whomever, you see different wide receivers get in and get some play. So I'm going to take the Patriots just minus 6.5. The other way I'm playing this too, I've got the Browns in a team total under parlay. You're going to love this.
Yes,
so we're going to take the Browns under 21.5. Like,
oh, I love that. Yeah.
So we're teasing the Browns and the Texans up and then taking the under. So Browns under 21.5. Guess how many times the Browns have hit this number throughout the year? So 22 points. How many times have they hit this number? Well, once last week. And that's it. Excuse me. They also hit it week 1 when they beat the Panthers. So the Browns have not been scoring points. I just think the Patriots are able to clamp down, keep them to less than 3 touchdowns. The Houston Texans host the 49ers. The 49ers are banged up. I don't really care. Houston has also really, really struggled to score this year. Their offense has been pretty terrible. So we're going to tease this to 24.5. So we're going to take Texans under 24.5, Browns under 21.5, parlay that, and you get that at minus 116. I don't see how this loses. Like, these offenses are so bad. Unless we see a bunch of like defensive scoring, this feels like a slam dunk of the week.
I cannot believe y'all have told me, so it's not like I wasn't told. I was just watching and cannot believe how bad the Texans offensive line is. Mm-hmm. It's really bad. And I hate it because I know both of us like CJ Stroud and I love CJ Stroud. It's just like, I don't know who can play with that offensive line. It's poor. It's a bummer because that dude, I think, is going to get a little wasted down there until they figure out how to fix that.
And Nico Collins is trending out. Yep. So I just, they got those rookie wide receivers, which we talk about Iowa State losing their wide receivers to Houston, but they're still rookies. They're still young. I think it's going to take a minute. So, yeah, yep. I like parlaying these unders, teasing these unders for that. combo. I've actually, like you've been talking about your money line parlays. I've been picking on my two least favorite offenses for the week, teasing them and parlaying them like this, and it's hit
Yeah.
2 weeks in a row. So going for lucky number 3 here now.
So we have two games that overlap. Let's save those for our last two game picks here. Let me just hit the one that I have. That's a bit of an outlier. I'm going one more. Oh, I might regret this. I said it last week. The Saints won a few weeks ago, and so therefore you can go ahead and fade them for I would say a solid 2 to 4 weeks, and it's starting to get a little long here. So I'm going to take the Bucks -3.5 at the Saints. Though I know the Bucks are banged up. I think it's impressive. I think though they know they have to win this game pretty well, like just to keep that division. Like let's keep the distance in the division. Ibuka is healthy or is healthy enough and should be playing, and Baker has been looking good. I know they're still missing some pieces, but the Saints are just bad. So give me 3.5, Bucks 3.5 at the Saints. Probably, man, I think I said this last week, so I might have to clip this in my regrets, which is probably the last week I'll fade the Saints because it's the NFL and I'm superstitious. Just that, look, the Saints are going to win one more game, right? So after the Saints win their next game, you will see me come back and be fading the Saints again. But I promise this is my last one until they win again.
They played the Rams next week, and then it's the Panthers. So maybe at the Panthers is when you want to jump on New Orleans before their bye week.
Yeah, I think just for safety, I'll stay away from it next week, even though I do like the Rams this year. But yeah, all right. We have some games that overlap. Let's start with the game that you and Mike have that overlap, and that's this Falcons game. Mike is our resident Falcons homer, but why don't you kick us off with your pick?
So, Dolphins at Falcons. Falcons at home have been really, really good. Their defense has been pretty good. But of course, their offense is a story with Bijan Robinson getting to face this atrocious Miami Dolphins. Last week, the Dolphins played the Browns, and we were heavy on Quinshon Judkins and all our player props, and for good reason, and then now we're talking about a Falcons offense at home against this same Dolphins defense. I just love the over in this game. I think the Dolphins can do enough to push the Falcons early, so that the Falcons are scoring. I think the Falcons get into the 30s themselves, and we need 2 touchdowns from the Dolphins. Maybe we pick it up in garbage time. Maybe we're at the 44.5 at halftime when it's 38-10. I see the Falcons doing pretty much anything they want in this game from an offensive perspective. So really like the over. Bijan Robinson for DFS is almost a must start, just because of what running backs have been able to do to this Dolphins team. So love the Falcons here. I think if Penix is healthy, which I think he's trending towards playing, I kind of like him as a sneaky, cheaper option in DFS as well. But I could see this game getting up and getting into the 50s. So over 44.5 feels like a good number. Even though the Dolphins can be kind of terrifying on offense, Achane, I think, he kind of gets that Christian McCaffrey attention as far as target share and just overall volume. So I could see Achane doing enough to get the Dolphins over the line. Maybe a Waddle deep score. I don't think the Dolphins are going to be very competitive for a lot of this game. So I like the over.
Mike has the Falcons at -6.5, so he's gonna take them. I think buying a point here. I think they're 7.5 point favorites because he's got the juice at -140. So take the Falcons to win by a touchdown. I got to call out Mike here. I was going to call him out. I was going to deliver the news in person, but he's not here, so I hope he's listening to this podcast at some point. Which is in the fantasy league that we're in. Look, and in Mike's defense, I was 2-4. I started my season in this league with Mike 0-4. So it was a justified ask. He comes to me when I was at 2-4, and he asked what it would take to give up Bijan Robinson. And at the time, I think I was like, let's give it a few weeks to see if my season. I am about to rip up 4 wins in a row. And so now the answer to that, Mike, is hell no. I'm going to win this league with Bijan Robinson. Are you kidding me? Get out of here. Don't ask me about Bijan Robinson again. Get that request out of here. Get that out of here. Taking advantage of the guys who are down in your fantasy league.
Yeah. I actually kind of like Tyler Algier, an anytime touchdown score now that we're talking about it. But
yeah. Yep. Maybe we'll add that to the props. Let's keep it going with the game picks here. Let's talk about Our last game that we have, and you and I are overlapping, where we talked about the Broncos to open the show. Let's talk about them as our final game picks here. You know, I don't think our picks necessarily have to. I don't think they're contradicting each other. Maybe it's a little bit of a needle kind of with points and those kind of things, but I'm gonna go ahead and take the Dallas Cowboys team total under 24.5. I think this number is inflated
Wow.
because the Broncos gave so much up to the Giants. I think the Broncos defense has some pride to come back this week. My main reason for this is that Cowboys defense is awful. It will be the reason why if they make the playoffs, why they don't win in the playoffs. It's bad. I think the Broncos will not have a game where they spend the first 40 minutes completely anemic and not doing anything, which is why their defense was like affected last week and giving up those points, because they literally couldn't, the offense couldn't keep the defense off the field, right? So this week, I don't think the Broncos could possibly be that anemic against the Cowboys. And I think the Cowboys defense, or the Broncos defense, has a little bit more pride this week. So give me 24, team total under 24.5 for a game that I think after last week is getting a little inflated on the total because of how the Broncos played last week. But you are also on this game with the Cowboys.
Yeah, I mean, the Cowboys are averaging like 397 yards of offense per game, third in the NFL in passing yardage per game. And I think they are able to do enough to keep this game close. While Denver's rattled off 4 and a win, they've all been terrifying. Like we started the show with this. So in a game that I think is going to be, I actually think this could get a little bit higher scoring. But I really just like the Cowboys to keep pace with the Broncos. So give me Cowboys plus 3.5 on the road here. I wouldn't be surprised if the Cowboys win outright. I think they kind of flip the switch a little bit. Their defense still isn't playing very well, but their offense can just score so much.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And they, with Dak Prescott and now CeeDee Lamb being healthy, Javonte Williams in a revenge game, I could really see them pushing tempo here. And I just think they keep this close. So you've got the best kicker in the league going a mile high. Like, we're gonna break the record this weekend, maybe. So I like the Cowboys to keep this close. Give me them plus 3.5. If again, for DFS purposes, if you want to load up on this game, I'll be joining you. Like, there's a lot of pieces that I want. I like a Bo Nix to like a Cortland Sutton, Marvin Mims stack. Let's just CeeDee Lamb on the other side. Let's rock and roll.
Those. So I really like Patrick Surtain against CeeDee Lamb. We know he's the best corner in the game.
Do you think he'll travel with him?
I think so, because do you know what I thought was crazy? I thought Riley Moss was getting cooked this week, which is the Broncos corner on the other side. I thought he was just getting cooked this season. Like, I just had this image of my head. For some reason, I'm like, man, Riley Moss is really like, poor guy gets picked on because he's on the other side. Riley Moss is giving up less yards per pass than any corner in the NFL, including Patrick Surtain. Like, what? like that blew my mind. Now, will he be able to do that against George Pickens? I don't know. He's probably not going to tail George Pickens, but he'll be on that side. So it'll be really interesting. I was shocked to see you're essentially saying like you have to decide what you like in this game. The best current passing offense in the NFL, which is the Cowboys, or the two best performing corners in the NFL with Patrick Surtain and Riley Moss. And maybe the answer is the Broncos pass rush, and does it get home or not will probably be the difference in this game.
Or maybe we're just overthinking this and we should just put all of our money on Ferguson over 38.5 receiving yards.
I love
tight end for Dallas, which I'm adding to the card right now. Go ahead and start typing that into the sheet, because I'm taking Ferguson over 39 yards.
I do love that. I wonder which one of us. I wonder which side's going to win. I really would love the Broncos to come out and show the NFL that we're a legit contender, and I just haven't seen that from them yet, honestly.
I could see this one. Let's say 24-22 Broncos. Let's get your win. Let's get your under my plus 3.5. Broncos win. Everyone's happy. Thread that needle.
I think that would be a great result for any kind of win against a good team is a great result for the Broncos this week. All right, let's move on. I don't have any player props this week. We move onto our player props section now. We're done with our game picks. I don't have any player props. Like I said, when I don't feel like I'm seeing the board really well, I tend to not do player props, but this is like Mike loves some player props. You have some great player props for us. So we are going to dive into those. Last week, man, I've taken Bo Nix a couple times because his number's been at like 215, 218 yards kind of a thing. He crushed that last week. And so all of a sudden his number's up to like 240 or 250. And I was just like, and there's some other numbers like that this week across boards of props that I normally look to that I just didn't love. So I'm staying away from props. Let's dive into y'all's props though. I'll start with one of Mike's, which is Cortland Sutton, 60 plus receiving yards for Cortland Sutton. And man, we just talked about that Dallas defense. So I do like this as well. I like Sutton here. You liked Mims though. Are you giving a Mims prop, or is that just a
No, no Mims prop. His number is right at 30, which I lean over. I would probably, if I did play Mims, play it more in the longest receiving yards market to see him get a big play. I kind of like him in DFS just because there's so many expensive players this week that you want to jam in. You need to find some cost relief, and I think Marvin Mims or Troy Franklin in that 4K range is a great way to kind of do that against this Cowboys defense. But no, I am going to add Jake Ferguson over 38.5 receiving yards. He has not hit this in the last 2 games, but prior to that, he had hit it like 4 weeks in a row. With CeeDee Lamb back and Pickens, both playing super well, it kind of can understand why he didn't hit last week. But I think to your point, talking about those corners, I think you have to find a way to attack this Denver defense. And I like them doing it through the tight end position. So I did add that as an official play, Jake Ferguson over 38.5 receiving yards.
Nice. Awesome. All right. Why don't you hit us with your own? You got Bijan Robinson here.
Yeah. So Bijan Robinson is second on the Falcons in receiving yards with 390 yards in 6 games. So averaging, well over 50 yards per game. His receiving yard number is still too low. It's at 29.5. It's pretty juicy at minus 160. So if you want to play like an alt line and play it like 31, 32, I'm fine with that too. I just think he is going to be so involved in this game. And against this Dolphins defense, I think we can expect them to run the ball a lot as well. But that rushing number was pretty high. So give me the receiving yards for one of the best running backs in the league. Under like just at 30 yards, I feel like, we probably get that on one play again. Like we've seen him have so many huge explosive plays in the past game. So give me Bijan to get it done once again.
Speaking of running backs, Mike here has Tony Pollard under 11.5 rushing attempts. I like this because the Titans are probably going to play from behind the entire season. And I think that, getting rushing attempts to Tony Pollard is not a high priority for them as much as developing Cam Ward. So I love the Pollard under. I've had him in a couple fantasy leagues thinking like, he was a good, like, kind of late pickup, but honestly, he's just not getting a lot of action, especially in the running game. So, like, I do like this Tony Pollard under 11.5 attempts here at minus 140. You're going back, though. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, we've seen Tajay Spears get a little bit more involved as well. So that could definitely be part of it as well.
Yeah, and so you like another elite running back, though, who's having a solid year, honestly, because he might be the only healthy person on this football team.
and that's exactly right. So let's go back to this Houston 49ers game that we talked a little bit about earlier. Someone has to score points in this game. I guess that's not true. You could win this 3-0 or just tie it 0-0, but I think someone ends up scoring in this game. And Christian McCaffrey is usually a player who, in his touchdown prop market, it's like right around, like he's like with Josh Jacobs and company, like at that minus 200 range. You can get him anytime touchdown at minus 135 this week. I just don't understand that. I'm fading him in DFS because of all these other running backs that we've talked about. But so kind of like to hedge that, I am going to play him as an anytime touchdown scorer. I just don't see who else is going to score. They have been running this offense through Christian McCaffrey with all of their injuries. I totally anticipate him to score in this game against a bad Houston Texans team. Like, their defense has been good, but come on, McCaffrey's going to touch the ball, 30 times? I think one of those at least ends up in the end zone. So I just feel like this is an opportunity to buy a touchdown here at the best number we're going to see all year, is my guess.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. I agree. That number only goes up from here. He's having a great, good bounce back season for McCaffrey. Probably don't have a lot of tread left on those tires, so hopefully we get some more out of him this year.
He's already got 185 touches through 7 games.
Oh yeah,
like that is crazy.
Man, they're like, man, we think you're heading towards the end of your career. Let's just use every bit of juice we got out of this guy.
Yeah,
right
53
now.
receptions already. 53 receptions.
Mike has for our final player prop, Jaylen Warren, the Steelers running back, under 14.5 rushing attempts. Note here from Mike, he's only hit over this number twice, and they'll be in pass mode against a good Packers defensive front. I totally agree with that. I also think that Aaron Rodgers is an egomaniac, and he's going to want to be slanging it around and not handing the ball off against the Packers team. So I love those like emotional angles too that are like, I agree with Mike's analysis of actual data. I also like my analysis of Aaron Rodgers is an insane egomaniac who's going to want to throw the ball.
Who do you think wins that game? Just curious. It's right now Packers favored by 3 in Pittsburgh. Revenge game here. One of the stories of the weekend. What side do you lean? I know we don't have an official play on this. I'm just curious. It's a big one.
I hate that I'm saying I lean the Steelers because
Me too.
Because the home field, you know, Aaron Rodgers' pride thing, but also just like the Packers have been. Man, I thought the Packers. I was told, and I thought the Packers were going to be like elite this year. Like they will overtake the Eagles and become the NFC favorite, like hands down. That is not how they've played.
It's been disappointing, yeah.
It has been very disappointing. So, man, going to Pittsburgh, one of like the biggest home field advantages, and like they've played really great this year. I like the Steelers to win that game at the very least.
Nice, yeah. +3.
All right.
It was on the card. Didn't make it to the final, but yeah, like that.
Yeah, I might have to add it to my personal betting card as well. All right. NFL Week 8. Let's run down our picks. We're going to start with our game picks, and then we are going to move over to player props. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see them on the screen here. Don't forget, we are partnering with RotoViz. So all of your fantasy football needs, head over to RotoViz. You might be listening to us there. If so, go check us out on YouTube and on Instagram. So NFL Week 8, I will give you the Bills and Patriots a little money line parlay. Smash those two together for those two teams to win. I'll take the Buccaneers -3.5 at the Saints. And I want the Cowboys team total under 24.5 at the Broncos. Mike has the Patriots -2.5 and Bills -12.5 in a parlay to get you to -125. He likes his Falcons against the Dolphins -6.5. And then Stefan, you got the rest of them.
Yeah, we're going to do my under parlay. We're going to take Texans team total under 24.5, parlay with the Browns team total under 21.5. We get that up -116. I'm going to take the Patriots -6.5 at home versus the Browns. We're going to take the Cowboys +3.5 at Denver. And then finally, we're going to take Dolphins Falcons over 44.5.
Awesome. Let's do player props. I'll hit Mike's for us here. Cortland Sutton, 60+ receiving yards at -110. Tony Pollard under 11.5 rushing attempts, and Jaylen Warren under 14.5 rushing attempts.
I'm going to take Bijan Robinson over 29.5 receiving yards. We're going to take Christian McCaffrey anytime touchdown at -135. And we're going to take Jake Ferguson over 38.5 receiving yards at -115.
Yes, love that. That's how we're going to make money this week. Don't forget to go check out the college football episode, and we will see y'all next week.
Bye.